Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on basic table placement, such as this one, something cool like this. I know you must have been seeing things like this on Instagram and other social media platforms that graphic designers are doing, and you may be wondering as a beginner how to do basic things like this, like basic table placement. This is just simple basic manipulation on Photoshop that anybody can do even as a beginner. Nothing There's nothing that is very hard here, and it's simple to do. All I did here was I designed this on Adobe Illustrator. This is the initial design, and I got the stock photo and I manipulated it together with my initial design. And this is something simple that anybody can do, just by applying certain tricks or applying certain methods, which I'm going to be teaching you guys right here in this tutorial. So without any further ado, I'm going to be showing you the step by step what I did to get this done, and how you can also do this for yourself as well. So first thing, this was initially designed on Adobe Illustrator CC 2017, and it's a very great tool and I really enjoy it. So after designing this, the first thing you should do is to export it. This was exported in 1200 resolution, and so the resolution will be high when the manipulation is done. So after exporting this, all you have to do is go to File. To export this now on Illustrator, all you have to do is go to File, Export as, and make sure you take this Use Artboard, so you can export just this area, the area you design. Any element or images that is falling outside the artboard will not be included in your exported file. So without any further ado, let's get started with the tutorial in general. I'm actually going to be using this background. So the first thing I'm going to be doing right here is scaling this image, increasing the resolution size, the image size to about 300 resolution. Okay, here we go. Then I'm going to get this design that was designed on Illustrator. I'm going to pull it here and drop it here. Alright, here you go. So here is it. I'm just going to hold Shift and Alt to reduce down, put it here, take it down a little bit more. Then I hit this, tick this good icon, so I can apply the transformation I just did. Press Ctrl O on your keyboard to bring this up. Put this one somewhere around here. I'm not going to crop this whole area, I'm just going to leave it there. What I'm basically going to do right here is well, let's just crop this area so make our workspace look very small and minimal. So I'm going to do that right now is select this background area, go to my crop tool, set this to 1. The ratio of 1 is to 1, so we can move this to the side. I want this area, let's just crop this area. Alright, here is fine. Click this good icon and okay. So now I'm just gonna do something cool right now. I want to put this design here under this flower, so it's going to look real, as if a picture was taken with the flyer on this table. So I want this flyer this flyer to be under this flower. So by doing this, and you can see here, we have to pay close attention to the shadows and the flowers and the lighting directions and all that. So when doing manipulations, certain things have to be put into consideration, like lightning and shadows. They are the major important area in terms of manipulation. If you're not good with these things, it will be very difficult for you to get your manipulation done. So with that said, doing that right now, so I'm going to double click here to uncheck that lockbox. No, I don't want this. Let's cancel that. So I'm going to duplicate this my background, this image right here, holding Alt on my keyboard. Alright, holding Alt, clicking and dragging. So I'm going to take this layer to the topmost layer. Can reduce the opacity so we can see how it looks. So right here I'm going to trace this. I'm going to trace this background out, this area, this flowery area, this leaf section. I'm going to trace it. So I don't want all this area, I want this to be independent of its own, so it can stay on top of the flyer. So by doing that, I'm going to press L on my keyboard, which is the shortcut for the lasso tool right here. I'm going to be using this lasso tool to trace, to cut out some certain areas, which you can do very fast. So I'm going to click. So I'm going to zoom in. It's always good to zoom in. I know it's going to look a little bit pixelated, but it doesn't matter, since we're going to be viewing this thing from a little bit distance. Meanwhile, I'll just don't put this one. Okay, I'm just gonna cancel. Or I can just bring up this section. Oh, I'm just gonna bring out this section right here and add the feather here a little bit. I can make the feather to be 2 points. But I just want to make this very, very basic and simple, so I'm not going to use this right here. I'm just going to close it. So I'm just going to right click here. Bring up the feather, click on feather. I'm going to set my feather to be 2 points. 2 points is basic, 2 points is good. So I don't want it to be much. I don't want the edges to be too blurry. I just want it to be a little bit blur. Okay, and I'll press delete because we're deleting this layer here. We already have our original background, so this layer is what we're working on right now. So we're gonna press delete. So you see, this whole section is gone. So I'm going to deselect this by pressing Ctrl D, or if you're on Mac, hit Command D to deselect that section there, right there. So you can see that if I move this right here, everywhere around this area, you can see it's going underneath this whole thing. Alright, cool. This is the first step to success in terms of manipulation. If you're really good with this, then the sky's the limit. You can manipulate anything. Now the next stage we're going to be hitting is the lightning stage, the shadows and lightning, to make this thing look very real. And I'm going to position it like this. I think I like this view. Yeah. So now in putting shadows, first off, we might want to put shadow on this major area here, this flyer section here. So you have to double click on this section to bring that effect panel, the dialog box for the effect panel, bring up the layer style, and you can also get the layer style blending mode area when you click on this menu section right here. This layer, come to layer style and blending option. This dialog box tends to pop up. So with this up, you come down to the shadows. Yeah, once you click shadows, it applies automatically because the preview checkbox is on, so you can be seeing what you're doing right here. So I'm just going to be doing a little bit tweaking depending on the light direction. As you can see here, the lightning is coming from this section, this area right here. You can see the shadows on this section, they are falling to this side, this area right here. That means the shadow, the light is coming from the top view of this image, of this background. So we're going to be using the direction of the shadows to create ours. So by doing that, I'm going to be tweaking this to this other side, this blending mode option. So I'm going to be rotating this shadow angle. I'm going to take it to, I want it to be on this side, this section right here. Okay, let's move this to this direction so we can see it. You can just do this manually, it doesn't need any special. So I'm just going to be tweaking this angle, reduce the opacity a little bit, Just trying to rush this right now due to time. I don't want to waste too much time on this. Just reduce this. Okay, I think I like this like this. Just a little bit shadow beneath it is cool. Close this one here. So I'm going to be adding another new layer on top of this one so I can apply the shadows. So I'm going to create multiple layers that we're going to be using to create the shadows. So this first layer here, that I just made right here, click on it. I'm going to turn this area, come to this section here and turn this to black. Yep. Hit B on your keyboard to bring up the brush tool. This brush tool here, this one. B. Let's hit B on your keyboard. I'm going to select a soft brush. I like this one. Just increase the brush a little bit. I can also increase the brush. Oh, damn it. Click on. I can also increase the brush by hitting on the parenthesis tool, the brackets tool. Call it brackets, some call it parenthesis. I don't know, whatever you call it. That stuff that look like bracket. I call it parenthesis though. Alright, so I'm going to be applying some shadows here. Oh, should I take this up a little? Let's take this up a little bit. Alright, cool. Coming down a little. Alright, so hit the B, pour the shadows a little bit. The shadows. Yeah, this is, make this a little bit intense. A little bit here, a little bit more. Alright, that's cool. I'm gonna add another layer. I'm going to do this. Since the layer is selected, I'm going to do that for this one. Undo it. Reduce the size of my brush. Undo. Pour a little bit of that here. Alright. Then I'm going to do the third one by putting shadow here. A little bit shadow so it will look a little bit faint. I don't want something that will look too clustered or too dark. Put a little bit. The reason why I'm doing the shadows on multiple layers is because of the opacity. When I'm reducing, some opacity will be dark, some will be light. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shadows here. Yeah, this is cool. Then I'll just reduce this opacity. The opacity of this layer 4. I'm going to reduce this. I can rename all this. Shadow 1, shadow 2, shadow 3. I'm just going to just leave it like this for just basic. So as to keep this under the time frame. So I'll reduce opacity a little bit. This one as well. Reduce this a little bit. I don't think this one needs much. I think this is cool. Then for this one, which is this area right here, I'm going to reduce this a little bit more. And a little. Yeah, I think this is good. Alright, so now we're going to be bringing up the business card to be placing it around this area as well. Alright, here it is. Just going to select this tool. Drag it onto Photoshop. And just put it here. It's taking a little bit of time. Alright, here it is. Here they are. Select the both of them together. Hold shift and reduce them a little bit. I think that's too big. The way it looks. Okay, this is cool. So I'm just gonna place one right here. This one should be beneath here. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Bring this one down. Rotate it a little bit. This up one should fall beneath under this and this as well. So I'm going to take this one down to the lower layer here. Alright, so it will be under that. Take it down, 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 so that it can go beneath the flyer. so the one can stay on top of everything right here. It can just be up here. I can take it down as well. Just take the layer, take the layer down. My layers right here don't have to be organized, since I'm not doing a full Photoshop design here. So we're going to be going back to what we did initially, which was bringing up the blending mode by double clicking here, or going to the layer style at this section right here. Layer styles right here, blending mode option. Since the layer is already selected, we can just start putting on our shadows. We just want a little bit of shadow right here, not much. Click the drop shadow. Our initial settings is already here. The settings we used before. Okay, just increase this a little bit. I'm going to reduce the opacity so the shadow tends to pop a little bit more. Tweak the direction a little bit. I think this is cool. I'll just okay this. The shadow is already applied there. Do the same thing for this one. I just double click here to bring up the blending mode, the layer style option as well. So I'm going to apply that same shadow to this one and just okay it. And basically that's just it. So I may want this flyer to have multiple layers. I can click on it, hold Alt and duplicate. Hold Alt on my keyboard and I'll just duplicate one. After duplicating the first one, I use the direction keys on my keyboard just to move it apart a little bit. Can rotate this one a little bit and move it away, move it in a little bit. Alright, 1, 2. Rotate this one very well. Alright, cool. So on top of everything, I can decide to sorry, I've not done the shadow for this area here. Where is it? I think this is no. This with this. Alright, so I'm going to add a new layer on top of this one. Since it's set to black, hit B on my keyboard and just pour a little bit shadow, a little bit black in this area right here, so as to create that shadow look, that shadow feel for it. Alright, with this done, go back to my pick tool, to my drop tool, then I'll just reduce the opacity a little bit, reduce it a little bit, no, add a little bit. Alright, that's cool. So on top of everything right now, I'm going to be adding a color feel, so that the color can be, just tweak the color a little bit of everything. So I'm going to be adding the color. I'm going to be working on some of the colors on everything right now, especially the green colors and the orange. So let's go to green, increase the cyan, increase the yellow a little bit to make it look cool. Since I'm doing this, since this color section is on top of everything, it's going to be applying to every color beneath it. So I'm going to be increasing this one a little bit, increase this one, make this a little bit darker. Go to the layers, the yellow section, increase the yellow a little bit. Go to the black, increase the blacks. Anything that is black here tends to pop. So there you have it. I can decide to add a little bit curve to give it a warm look. If I want a little bit warmer look for this, I can select this blue, bring this down a little bit, down a little bit. Alright, now we're getting that warm feel. You can see, making it look like kind of like cinematic and I don't know, that cool look. So with this said, we're done with this tutorial. So this is just the basic way to get things like this done, table placement, just basic table placement manipulation that you can do for you can post this on your you can post your designs on social media, either on Instagram or Facebook, so people can see what you've done or what you can do. And you can also use this to present to a client for them to see what a job can look like when you're done designing them. So you don't just give a client a straight up design which you're not giving them that view, that vision to see what the design will be all about when it is done, when it is print ready. With that said, guys, that's all for today. So don't forget to, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tick that bell icon so that you'll be notified of any videos that I release when I release them, because I'm going to be doing cool stuffs like this every day. This channel is all about doing cool stuffs, anything cool in terms of imagery, graphics, making money online, and all those cool stuff in entrepreneurship. Alright guys, I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Don't forget to smash that like button and drop a comment in the comment section down below. See you in the next video. Bye for now.